July 16, 1945, this was the day when the weapon that could destroy humanity, the atomic bomb, was tested for the first time. For the first time in human history, such a weapon had been brought into the field that would change the world forever. The physicist who made this atomic bomb was J. Robert Oppenheimer, and he had no idea at all that the weapon he created could actually be so terrifying. When he saw its destruction with his own eyes, he expressed his feelings with a historic phrase on that very date. Why? And how did this atomic bomb bring Oppenheimer to the brink of destruction? The man whose hard work helped America win World War II, why was he humiliated and disgraced by America in front of the entire world? Viewers, Oppenheimer accomplished many feats in his life, but he will always be remembered in history as the father of the atomic bomb. Born in 1904, at just 18 years old, he dreamed of becoming a chemist, which led him to Harvard. Due to illness, he couldn't attend classes for a whole year after admission, but still completed a 4-year degree in just 3 years. Along with being a tennis player, he was also deeply interested in physics. After graduating from Harvard, he went to the University of Tübingen in Germany for research in theoretical physics and completed his PhD at a very young age. By nature, he didn't socialize much. His main attention was always on his research. He returned to the US and resumed his research. At this point, he had no connection whatsoever with the atomic bomb. But then Hitler came to power in Europe and tasked a few German scientists with creating the most powerful weapon in the world. This is where Albert Einstein enters the story. Yes, Einstein recognized Hitler's threat and wrote a letter to US President Roosevelt urging the US to also start developing such a weapon, or else Hitler might overpower them in the future. After reading Einstein's letter, the American president immediately took action and ordered the military to begin an atomic bomb research project. This mature project is now known to the world as the Manhattan Project. It's believed that the atomic bomb might never have existed if Einstein hadn't written that letter to the president. Logically, Einstein should have been selected for the Manhattan Project since he initiated it, but that didn't happen. Einstein had a German background, and the military suspected he might be involved in some conspiracy. Because of this, the leadership of the Manhattan Project was handed over to Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer agreed with Einstein's views and also believed that America should build the atomic bomb. A whole city was built in New Mexico for this secret project, called Los Alamos. The government began pouring massive funds into the project. By 1945, the total expenditure had reached $2 billion, making it the most important and top secret project in American history.
However, maintaining the secrecy was a big challenge for the military. Around 130,000 workers were employed in the Manhattan Project at Los Alamos. They were selected after strict scrutiny to ensure that no information about the project leaked. These included scientists, technicians, researchers, and lower staff. Everyone was strictly instructed not to share any details about the project, not even with their families. People didn't even know each other's real names. They were given code names. A rule was enforced. If anyone's real name leaked, they would be punished. Letters arrived at fake addresses. Even official letters avoided mentioning the city name. A censorship department opened and read all letters before forwarding them. Letters sent out of the site were also read first. Entry into the project site required a strict security pass, and no one could exit without an exit pass. Even the birth certificates of babies born in Los Alamos did not mention the city name, just P.O. Box 1263. All of this was done to prevent even the smallest information about the atomic bomb from leaking. Oppenheimer had already been researching nuclear fusion before the Manhattan Project. Nuclear fusion is a reaction where atoms are split to produce tremendous energy. The heaviest naturally occurring element in nature is uranium. A uranium atom has 92 protons and 146 neutrons, totaling an atomic mass of 238. After several experiments and research, scientists concluded that if uranium-238 goes through a special process, uranium-235 is produced, an extremely unstable element. When a neutron collides with uranium-235, the atom splits and produces an unimaginable amount of energy. This splitting also releases new neutrons, which collide with other uranium-235 atoms, continuing the chain reaction. This entire chain reaction happens within microseconds, resulting in a massive explosion in energy release. Comparing a nuclear bomb to a regular TNT bomb is like comparing an elephant to an ant. Just consider that one atomic bomb equals 350 kilotons of TNT, the same little boy bomb that devastated Nagasaki. To cause this much destruction with TNT, America would have needed around 1.5 million tons of TNT, a load that no plane could carry even today. The biggest drawback of using uranium in atomic bombs was that it's a natural and limited element. So, researchers created a new element comparable to uranium, which was even more unstable and not found in nature, plutonium-239. America was in a rush to complete the project, not only because World War II was ongoing, but also due to the fear that Germany might create the bomb first. Finally, on the 16th of July 1945, the world's first atomic bomb was ready and was tested. When it was detonated, the sheer intensity shocked the entire world. Oppenheimer and the other scientists involved were themselves horrified by this weapon. This was the first man-made weapon capable of endangering human civilization. Without fully grasping its consequences, the next month America dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Over 250,000 people lost their lives in both bombings. After these attacks, Japan surrendered to America, marking the end of World War II. Now, you might think America would have honored Oppenheimer for his contribution and awarded him the Nobel Prize. But that didn't happen. Oppenheimer expressed deep regret over his creation, which had taken the lives of so many people. This incident broke him from within, and he began isolating himself from the world. Had he wanted, he could have shifted America's power in moments, which is why he was seen as a sensitive figure. Various American agencies began monitoring Oppenheimer, and then, the feared moment came. In 1949, the Soviet Union, America's biggest enemy, shocked the world by detonating its own atomic bomb. America couldn't figure out where they got the knowledge. Suspicion fell on Oppenheimer, partly because his girlfriend had been a member of the Communist Party, and his wife had once been associated with it too. The Communist Party in America had close ties with the Soviet Union. Though Oppenheimer had no interest in politics, the American president ordered a wall be placed between Oppenheimer and state secrets. An inquiry was held accusing him of being a Soviet agent. He stood by his claim that he had no links to communism or the Soviets. There was no evidence against him, yet the decision went against him. A man who once held powerful institutional status was disgraced in minutes. His security clearance and project rights were stripped. Albert Einstein and the scientific community protested this decision, but nothing changed. Oppenheimer spent the next several years living quietly and away from government projects. About 7 years later, in 1961, John F. Kennedy became president and offered Oppenheimer a new, fair tribunal that could restore his security clearance. But this time, Oppenheimer declined. Kennedy, knowing his worth, awarded him America's highest scientific honor, but by then, it was too late. Oppenheimer was diagnosed with cancer and passed away in 1966. His ashes were scattered on a beach in the Virgin Islands, now known as Oppenheimer Beach. We hope this Discover TV video will be liked and shared abundantly. Thank you all for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.